One of the things you'll notice when you read through the Old Testament prophets is that frequently they will refer back to events early in Israel's history and talk about how God is going to do something in the future that's patterned after those events. So frequently you'll see the Exodus from Egypt referred to, and how God in the future is going to redeem his people, not just from Egypt, but from all the places to which they have been exiled. He's going to bring them home. So the Exodus becomes a template or a pattern for how God is going to act in the future. Now we see a great example of this kind of patterning happening in Joshua as well as Hosea. So what Hosea talks about is how in the future, when God sends his Messiah and he calls his people back to himself, he's going to transform the valley of Achor into a doorway of hope. That's Hosea chapter 2. What's this valley of Achor? Well, to learn that, you go back to Joshua. This is in the early days of the conquest. And when a fellow by the name of Achan took some of the items devoted to destruction and he hid them under his tent and was found out, he was executed. And over his body was placed a big heap of stones, and that location was called the Valley of Achor, which in Hebrew means the Valley of Trouble. So what Hosea does is he looks back to that incident early in Joshua, and he says, now what God is going to do in the future is he's going to reverse that. He's going to make that Valley of Trouble into a doorway of hope, because the hope is what we now have in Jesus the Messiah, who ushers us into his Father's promised land.